के emotions generalized होते हैं, anger होता है, there is love, there is inspiration, there is peace, there is everything. But everybody takes their emotions in a different manner. I'm just going to tell you what and how did I take my emotions, and probably start off from a small incident of my childhood. My childhood incident was something that made an impact, जिसने मेरी लाइफ की डायरेक्शन थोड़ी बहुत चेंज करी. वहाँ से एक रोलिंग इफेक्ट आया एंड मल्टीपल इमोशंस क्रिएट हुए एंड फर्दर रोलिंग इवेंट एंड दैट एडेड टू माय करंट place where do I stand right now. I'll start with the emotion that is broken. So as you all can see behind me, it's not that I'm referring to that my childhood was broken. It was a beautiful childhood. I got everything from my parents. मेरे को अच्छा भी मिला, मेरे को खराब भी मिला. But there was something that I always had, and that was destruction in mind. According to me, destruction was some opportunity to construct or make something out of something. Why do you see broken here? I was 8 years old, I suppose. We used to live in Ukraine, so it was a exciting place to be, and we experienced new things which were not available in India. मेरे father साहब कंप्यूटर लाए मेरे लिए. उस टाइम डायल अप इंटरनेट हुआ करता था, गूगल नहीं हुआ करता था. करना क्या था? गेम खेलना था उस पर, और कुछ नहीं करना था. मैंने 2 दिन गेम खेला, 3 दिन खेला, 4 दिन खेला. I got bored out of it. I was like, what now? So I dismantled my whole CPU, my computer, everything bit by bit, piece by piece. I dismantled it, and I was satisfied. I just wanted to see अंदर है क्या, चल क्या रहा है, कैसे चल रहा है. Probably ये समझ नहीं आया कैसे चल रहा है, but अंदर है क्या वो देखना है मेरे को. I opened it up. It was all on the ground in front of me, and then I realized कि अब इसको assemble भी तो करना है. Otherwise, I'm gonna get a beating probably or something. And computers that time were a thing. It was a big deal that you're getting a computer when you're 7, 8, 9 years old, and probably in 1990s. I managed to assemble it somehow, and that's when I realized that destruction is very important. Dismantling is extremely important. If you are working towards something, and if you do not break it up, you're not just going to get it, you will never get it. That's what I thought. Probably that's a case with a lot of people. But we always try to miss out the underlying root cause of things. कि ऐसा हो रहा है, तो ये तो होगा ही. Destruction हो रहा है तो हो रहा है, but क्यों हो रहा है? Are you doing something about it? Are you making something out of it? Or are you just sitting on it? That's when I moved to innovation. Innovation is not always technical. Innovation is not always about computers, big data, what I'm working now on. मैंने बचपन में सोचा भी नहीं था कि मैं ऐसा कुछ करूँगा. Innovation is again, number one, trusting on the logic and the idea that there is something that is missing. There is something that needs to be done. My father used to always say, if there is anything at all, कोई नहीं हो जाएगा. I got no idea. I was still a kid, and since I was a kid, I always used to think कि कोई नहीं कैसे हो जाएगा. मतलब बोलते रहते हैं क्यों हो जाएगा, कैसे? And that's where I actually started to connect the dots. Innovation is something that you do on your daily life. Irrespective if people have found it out about it or not. Irrespective if you have developed a AI or you have developed something that is much more innovative just for you, for your own life. You don't really have to worry about other people's life that way. You firstly get your act straight. If you know how to connect the dots, you will start innovating. From where we move to the courage part. So by that time, I was somewhere in the my teenager age, and मैं कुछ 14-15 साल का हो गया था. 16 साल 16.5 साल की उम्र पे नौकरी स्टार्ट कर ली थी. I was tall, and so I used to tell people that I'm 20, and they believed it, and I encashed on it. I started working. I completed my education really early. I did my master's. I went to a fancy MBA school. My father spent a lot of money and I had no regret about it, apparently. What was I doing? I studied, came back to India just to do a mediocre job. My family spent a lot of money for that. And for what? I did not even study. I was never a scholar myself. And that should not come out as a wrong impression. You guys should study, but maybe at home, maybe in college, that's your choice. But I myself was never a scholar. My target was just to get over with this education and get started with work. It doesn't matter if I'm getting 45, 50%, 55. My highest was 62% in any subject, ever. Probably I got really high in computer sciences. It was just point of interest for me. I could just really understand the basics of everything, how things work. I started dismantling everything possible. In my daily life, if I'm sitting somewhere, I started destroying and reconstructing them. I started working towards it. So education from a body, from a university, from a college, from a school, was not point of interest to me. Dismantling and working towards making something was of interest to me. I started working, came to India, worked in other regions as well. इधर काम करा, उधर काम करा, पैसा कमाया, नौकरी में. But then there was something pending. There was something pending, and it was innovation. It was becoming a root of my life that there should be something happening apart from a job. That's where my courage came in. I left all my jobs. I came in. I started off with my first startup. The startup, very exciting idea, according to people I know, according to me, according to my family, according to my father, according to my sister, my mother, they all were like, awesome, great job. It failed. एक साल भी नहीं चली. I learned a lot out of it. I learned basics of dismantling a startup. I learned how to disintegrate various departments in order to make something out of it. A startup is not an idea. Every idea is bad idea till the time you make it work. So I wasn't able to make it work. इतना experience नहीं था मेरे पास. It failed. We got funded, but it failed. And I moved on. But that's the courage that I took as a first step of my startup ecosystem where I really wanted to do something. Fail हो गया तो हो गया. But I again wanted to do something out of it. That's where I moved towards anger. So anger became a driving tool. I was angry at myself for probably failing. I was angry at people for not understanding basics of things. I was angry at the things which are not balanced. I was probably angry at everything that is illogical. For me, anger was stupid. Anger is stupid. Anger is not perfect. It's just a tool that either drives you or you drive the anger. So during the understanding, I was somewhere in late 20s. That's what actually facilitated my successful startup after that. We did really well. We started off with a tech company. We did big data. We understood things. I connected dots. We established processes. We established everything. All of that because of anger. Anger to do the right thing. You just need to divert it a little bit. And that's where you would stand with your own idea, with your own startup, probably with your own family or whatever you may think of. It worked for me. Anger really made my company work. In under 2 years of my first successful startup, we did more than 250 crores of revenue. And that's what motivated me. And then again, I was blank what to do. And we moved on from there. So after anger, there is something that is very hard to understand. It's empathy. So empathy is something, people have their own variation, people have their own understanding of empathy. For me, empathy is listening to people, understanding what and how they would want to communicate, understanding what are they going through, understanding in a manner how can you actually help them out if need be, and trying to probably find a solution for the people, for the community that has helped you out, for your employees if you're doing a startup, for an NGO that you're probably running, for the family that that is taking care of you. And I understood that we really have to give back to the society. But this is the understanding for us of being empathetic, knowing what's around you, knowing the people, knowing the real problem. Again, dismantling the issue, not what to do. We knew what to do, but we also know how to do it. So that's how the dismantling of things come in place for us. So moving from there, we actually, did well in few things, did really bad in a lot of things, learned a lot of things, but we made money. We made money in our businesses, we made money for our employees, we made money for our partners. Probably that's one of the core focus areas that any entrepreneur should also focus on. Things don't come for free, and they would never do. That's where my fear came in place. What if I just lose it all at some point of life? Once you're working, आप जब तक वो उसको कमाने के लिए आप मेहनत कर रहे हैं ना, तो आपको उस चीज़ का डर नहीं होता कि ये लूज़ हो जाएगा, क्योंकि आपके खर्चे बंधे हुए होते हैं. आपके रेंटल जा रहे हैं, आपके घर के खर्चे हैं, गाड़ी का EMI है, whatever. But once you have it all and you get used to that money, irrespective whatever the money it is, whatever is making comfortable, you would have that fear of losing it. And once you have that fear, you would want to secure it somehow. That's where my other motivation came in. Because of fear, we started off a product and green company, which is into recycling, which is into mobility solutions. Totally out of my books. मेरे को पता भी नहीं था कैसे करना है. ना मेरे को जानना है उसका end to end. I just know how to sell it. I just have an idea. And we started it off. Under a year, we are a strong team. We started off 2 facilities under 3 months since the inception of each facility. We expanded our manpower and people who really want to innovate. So that's somewhere where we stand because of the fear. Because that, since things do not live forever, probably मेरा पहला काम भी नहीं चल पाएगा बहुत लंबा. तो जब तक वो ख़त्म हो रहा है उससे पहले कुछ और कर लो ना. So that people who actually rely on you, people who actually look up to you, probably your people who are working for you, people who are actually working in your office, people who are actually pushing the company forward, or your thought, or your family, उनके भी तो घर चलाने हैं. If you have taken a responsibility of hiring people in your startup or in anything that you're working on, you better do it well. You better don't leave them because they did not leave you. So that fear should convert into a productive action, whereas you can actually encash it. And that's where I was standing. With fear, I understood that I really don't have to be scared, because fear is also dumb. Why? According to me, it's just lack of knowledge. If you are unable to manage a situation, it's just you don't know about it. बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो अपने प्रॉब्लम्स की वजह से डर के बैठ जाते हैं. वो डरते इसलिए हैं कि वो प्रॉब्लम बड़ी नहीं है. वो डरते इसलिए क्योंकि उन्हें पता नहीं है उसे कैसे सॉल्व करना है. There are a lot of people who are solving a lot of things in this world. How are they doing it? वो भी तो इंसान ही है. And that's what I realized. If I can dismantle things, if I know what each substance, how does it matter, how does it work, and you can create a brain, map according to your fear, according to your understanding, you can very well solve it. Fear is just dump. And if somebody, I'm not apologetic about it, if I am unable to manage my fear, I am unable to manage a situation, probably it's just my lack of knowledge. It's not, it's, the problem is created by people most of the times in our life. If they can create it, then we can solve it in a really easy manner. Just don't uncomplicate things, dismantle them. It's just going to be easier that way. And that's how we work now. And that's where we came to. Uh, After understanding सारे emotions, there were a lot of emotions जो मेरे अंदर अभी भी नहीं आए हैं, जो build up नहीं हुए हैं. And that's where I did not find peace. For me, it was primarily कि मेरे पास सारे emotions क्यों नहीं हैं? And what do I do with what I have right now in hand? And just the simple thing, it was a really, really, really easy answer. It was our slide one. I am also broken. I am not perfect, but I'm perfect with what I do. I am not a king. I am Jack in my own world. So if I'm broken in a good manner. I'm going to break things and I'm going to make them again.